Hey, how's it going, everybody? Sorry, one second. Hey, what's going on, everybody? Sorry, I just realized I had stuff going on. Headphone volume was down. It's a nightmare. It's not a nightmare. Today's Friday the 13th. No one was massacred in my house today. Thank Jeebus. But there was lots of frustration going on. I had some things to do. I don't know if you've checked out the stories today, my YouTube stories, or if you follow me on Instagram or Facebook or anything like that. I posted a little short video, a little funny video about the Empire State Building and the real history behind it. So if you haven't checked that out, go check that out. But I was having some issues today. Shocker with Adobe Premiere. Somehow, yeah, I don't know if I want to get too deep into this, but somehow, like, my saved file, my sequence that I've edited on many times before, somehow some of the like default like I don't know if I even really want to get into this. It just makes me mad. But yeah, somehow default settings that I've saved, kept, I've never changed. Somehow changed. So, anyways, I was yelling at my computer for like an hour today. It was fun. Anyways, hey, Friday the 13th. It's a fun day. We're gonna make this a fun day. But before we get going in all of that, the main stuff that I usually talk about or want to talk about today, particularly, sorry, not that I talk about every day, the stuff that I want to talk about today. Before we get into all of that, don't forget to check out wilddinosaur.com. It is really the best place to support this channel. I'm drowning over here. I've set up, I've spent years actually setting up my business and whatnot, trying to organize my thoughts and projects and doing everything mostly myself until I was able to get my domain and shop open and everything like that. Shout out to my friend Jay, who helped build the website. But yeah, there are all kinds of things there that you can look at and purchase. There are t-shirts, sweatshirts, tote bags, stickers, socks, long sleeves, sweaters, zip-ups, the huge. And it's got my art printed on it. So go to wilddinosaur.com. Check out all the cool stuff I got there. Purchase something and hey, I put it away. Hold on, let me grab them real quick. There we go. Sorry about that. No one has taken me up on this yet. No, not one person. But if you purchase something from wilddinosaur.com and you, like, let's say it's a t-shirt or a tote bag, for example, take a picture of you using your Wild Dinosaur merch, wearing it out in public, that sort of thing, and post it into your social media. Tag me in it. Don't forget. Let's just say post it into your Instagram stories, right? It's not up on your feed. You don't have to keep it up there forever and ever. But tag me in the stories. Post up the pictures of the Wild Dinosaur merch. Tag me in it. And if you do that, I will send you some stickers. I have these. I made these last year. I made these at the beginning of 2022, and I haven't sold any of these yet. I've got plenty of these, but they're packs of 5 vinyl stickers with various stickers. There's my logo in there. There's a couple other stickers that I've made. And yeah, so if you do that, if you post up your Wild Dinosaur merch on your Instagram stories, tag me in it, I'll send you some stickers. I'll get you some stickers. I'll get them to you. Don't worry about it. All right. So now that we got that out of the way, let's talk about foosball. I'm just kidding. I don't want to talk about foosball. Look, if you came to this channel to talk about sports, you came to the wrong channel. I don't follow sports at all. There's some stuff I like. I like watching hockey at sometimes, mostly live. When I grew up in Southern California, so I spent some time going to Kings games, and I went to a couple of amateur like hockey games at local hockey ice rinks. So hockey can be fun. There's usually some blood involved. The fights are so much better in real life than they are on TV. Yeah, anyways, I don't want to go off about sports because that's not why we're here. I don't even want to talk shit about sports because I don't really care. I don't care enough about sports to hate them. I do hate some of the organizations. The NFL is kind of a shitty organization. Much like the WWE. I'm not trying to start arguments here about what sport is good or what sport isn't good or whatever. I'm talking about the organizations themselves. NFL kind of sucks. Yeah, and I don't really like supporting they're not going to be running it much anymore, but the McMahon family, for example, don't like to support them much. But I was a wrestling fan growing up. But you live, you learn. You follow politics. So the other day, was that on Wednesday? That must have been Wednesday. Or was it Monday? I don't remember. What was my... Oh, yeah. It was Monday. It was Monday. Because Wednesday was our... I don't know what I was forgetting. It was our Ween episode. Wednesdays are for right now, Wednesdays are the live... all of these are live. Wednesdays for right now are the 90s nostalgia episodes where Ryan and I talk about records from the 90s. And talk about not just... there's a lot of YouTube channels out there that'll do like video essays about things. A lot of music channels that'll talk about like a specific record and the technical aspects behind it and where the artist might have been mentally or emotionally when they were writing it. Things like that. You really get a behind the scenes look. Or people try to inform you on things like that, and that's to a degree something that we try to do as well, is inform you on bands that if you're our age or older you probably know about, maybe forgot about, or haven't revisited in a long time. And if you're younger and a newer viewer, maybe you had never heard of Ween before. Maybe you have heard of Ween, but you only knew one song or record or whatever. We like to give that to you, but we also like to explain where we were personally during these times. And it's really fun with Ryan because Ryan's a little bit older than me. And so he was very much, throughout the 90s, was much more aware of music and art, more so than I was, because I was just developing a little bit more. And so it's fun to revisit, our stuff that we maybe liked or didn't like back then, and talking about it now, especially because there's a lot of 90s resurgence in things, fashion and art and whatnot like that. And so I think it's fun to talk about stuff that we liked that was kind of popular, but Yeah, I think it's a good show, and Ryan and I tend to have fun conversations around those. So if you haven't checked those out, check those out. Those are on Wednesdays. We've had 3 of them so far. The first one we did was Space Hog. We just did it in the meantime, the single, because we were just kind of coming into our idea of talking about certain records. Then we did Bush, 16 Stone, and then this week we did Ween, the Mollusk. And we got stuff coming next week. We got a good one next week. We'll be talking some Jane's Addiction, which will be fun. Yeah. So don't forget to. I don't always do this, but don't forget to like and subscribe. I actually lost a subscriber, but right before New Year's, I think it was, and that's disappointing. And in the back end of things on YouTube's end, I'm able to see some of my analytics a little bit more, understand some of my analytics a little bit more, a little better than they were set up previously. And I'm not doing well. I'll tell you guys what. I really would love any sort of feedback on any of this stuff. Comment on these videos, share these things, tell your friends about this channel, and I'm absolutely open to more ideas too. I'm always kicking around ideas. I've been kicking around the idea of maybe doing one of the shows a week as a pre-recorded thing, but not a show, but more like, I don't know, maybe doing some sort of video essay type. I don't know. That's going to be something I'm going to have to think about, and I don't know. So I personally, I'm not really bouncing many of these of what I do on this show. I'm not bouncing a lot of this off of other people so much. Ryan and Pat are fantastic. They're great friends. I don't put a lot of pressure on them. I just want them on the show to have conversations. So I don't push them to help me figure things out so much, although they are really great. I'm really grateful and thankful that they do help me sometimes. But somebody within the space, at least, that's doing YouTube or understands that wants to do this. Ryan and Pat aren't gonna host their own shows on their own channels or anything like that. That's not necessarily what they want in their lives. Maybe somewhere down the line. But I'm really thankful that they're able to jump on these episodes and when they can. So that being said, actually, Pat was not able to make it today. He worked a little late, so no issues here. I'm just alone. That's all. Doing these with people is so much more fun. That's all I'm gonna say. That's all I'm gonna say. And sometimes, and not just sometimes, no great art, no good art is made alone. There's always somebody to help. Even if it's a painter, they have apprentices. If it's a sculptor, also apprentices. Movies are made with crews of hundreds and hundreds of people. So, even on the writing end, there's oftentimes multiple writers that take passes on scripts. Especially big budget stuff. So, yeah, anybody who wants to be a part of this, reach out. Please, feel free. I am open for OnlyFans? No, sorry, business. All right, so let's get into it, because it was on Monday. I was doing an episode, and longtime fan, longtime listener, don't know if he's here today, Derpy Gaming pointed out to me that there was an Man and the Wasp Quantumania trailer dropping on Monday night, and it dropped just after 7, I believe, because I ended Monday. I think it went a couple minutes over. I think it did like an hour and 5 minutes. And then I had a phone call I had to take. Excuse me. Forgive me. Yawning is... I think it's just coming out of me today because all the little frustrations that I was dealing with today. Everything's fine. It was one of those... Every little thing was kind of frustrating, you know? So... but Derby Gaming pointed out that there was going to be an Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania trailer coming out that night, and I ended the episode. I didn't wait for it to come out. I actually needed to get back. I think I picked up my brother called, and I needed to get back to him. So ended the show. And the trailer was there after my phone call with my brother. I think I had like a 20-minute phone call or something with him. So somewhere between 7:10 and 7:30 it was. It dropped, and I watched it. And I do want to talk about it a little bit. This is the trailer that IMDb, or the poster that IMDb has up. I think this is a really good poster, actually. I like this poster a lot. It's very much not like the movie posters that we see a lot these days. I don't even know if this is going to be the official one. This was just this was on the IMDb page, and I know they did release this image because I have searched for it previously. But and I'm not sure if this is the final poster. I think there was another one with like Ant-Man's head and Kang in the background and stuff. But I like this. This is a good poster. It's not the, I guess, for lack of a better phrase, it's not the Star Wars poster. You know what I mean? Where there's like 15 characters and it's all their busts, and it's like right in the middle, and then you see like a TIE fighter flying on the side and somebody holding a lightsaber, and it's not all of the characters meshed into one thing, which there's some good ones. I'm not gonna lie. This one over, I don't think you can see it. I actually have a Rise of Skywalker like tin poster right here. Actually, I'll grab it real quick. All right. So this one, it's metal. It's aluminum, I think. These posters where they have like all of the characters right up front. I don't even want to defend why I have this. This was given to me by a friend of mine whose family member works for Disney. But yeah, this is the kind of design that it's not bad, but like every poster ever made now looks kind of like this. And the Ant-Man one, I really appreciate it. It's just straight up like Kang's got Ant-Man in the palm of his hand, and that's essentially what this movie looks like it's gonna be. So yeah, so let's see. I don't want to just jump into the big stuff right away. It starts off, and I'm not showing this. I don't like doing that. I don't want to get dinged for copyright stuff. Yeah, actually, you know what? I'm gonna watch it on my end with the volume down, and I will pause it, and I'll just describe some things. Excuse me. Oof. There it is. Wait, that's not it. That's it. All right. So yeah, it starts off wide shot of San Francisco sunset. You got the understanding we've seen in another trailer. Scott is doing a lot better than he has in the previous two movies. He's recognized, at least vaguely, as a hero publicly. He's, as we've seen in Miss Marvel, doing podcasts and stuff like that, writing books, and Hope seems to be also living the life as well. And as we get into it, you can see it looks like Cassie's in prison in one part. Chip off the old block, huh? The old man block. Felon. That's what Scott Lang was in the first movie. Coming out of prison after pulling the old Robin Hood style, stealing from the rich and giving to the poor. I don't know what Cassie's going to be up to, but we do have new Cassie. She's aged up. Who's the actress? I forget. Is that Catherine Newton? Which we've had 3 Cassie Langs now. Is that right? I think yeah. There's been 3 now. I think I don't know. I honestly, I'll be honest. I don't know who Catherine Newton is. I'm just looking over IMDb real quick. She's been in a bunch of stuff. Most of these things I haven't seen. 3 Billboards Outside of Ebbing, Missouri was something. Oh, she's in Lady Bird as well. Okay, those 2 movies were I passed over because I was not in a dramatic mood when those movies came out, and just never. I think I watched Bad Teacher, but Madman. Okay, so she's been, Halt and Catch Fire. Pat really likes that show. He's recommended that show to me multiple times. Blockers. I did see Pokemon Detective Pikachu. I don't really remember her in that, to be honest. I don't know that she. I'm assuming she's not a bad actress or anything like that. I have nothing really to say about Catherine Newton other than third time's a charm, I guess. I was thought the little girl from the first 2 Ant-Man movies was adorable, and she gets the little like freaky rabbit from Scott in the first one, and I always thought that was really funny. But yeah, we'll see how Catherine Newton does as Cassie Lang, Scott Lang's daughter, who is suiting up in this movie. I don't know if she's going to take on the mantle of stature or what she's going to do. But yeah, she's in this, and it looks like she has developed some sort of quantum machine that shoots signals into the quantum realm, which sucks all of them into the quantum realm. Scott, Cassie, Hank, Hope, and Janet, played by Michelle Pfeiffer. And then get our introduction to Kang here. One thing that was really cool was oftentimes Kang is blue. His skin tone is blue, and one thing they did that was, I thought, really cool. I like comic books to a degree, and I've read some. I'm not the historian on them. I don't know all of the lore. I don't remember so much stuff about it. There's so much going on in my head that I've had to make space for some of the stuff that maybe I knew when I was a lot younger. But Jonathan Majors is playing Kang the Conqueror. Big Avengers villain. This is he's a fan. If you're only familiar with the movies, really, he is bigger than a Thanos level threat. He's a great villain from stuff that I've seen him pop up in. Jonathan Majors as an actor is a phenomenal actor. Real big fan of I always forget the name of it. It was the HBO show he was on, Lovecraft Country. It was really good. That was a really great show. Really liked that show a lot. So moving forward, we got all kinds of cool stuff. We see the quantum realm. It looks vast. It looks like a huge city that he's built up around here. And the stakes just look massive in this movie. And here there is a scene of Ant-Man, Cassie, and Kang walking into some room with some random weird thing behind them. And that random weird thing behind them is MODOK. MODOK is a character I am maybe a little more familiar with just because I'd seen him pop up in so much stuff. And then there was the MODOK show on Hulu where Patton Oswalt voiced them. And there's just been some stuff that I've seen with MODOK, and it looks like we're getting a completely different backstory for MODOK. Seemingly Corey Stoll, who played Yellow Jacket in the first movie, looks like he's gonna be reprising his role. Maybe as not Yellow Jacket, but the end of the first movie, his suit did like a implode thing, and the theory a lot of people I think have is that, you know, he didn't die in that first movie, but he got sucked into the quantum realm and he's been living there, and now he's become MODOK, or maybe this is a variant or some other backstory. Who knows? We'll find out next month because this movie comes out. Was it February 17th? Is that right? Something like that. Yeah, so there's a lot of big stuff going on in this. A lot of big graphics. Whatever this giant floaty thing is, I I like the fact here that you see Scott climbing up like hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of variants of himself, as like ants might do. The ants have actually done this in real life. They make their own bridges, and I don't mean they just build them. It's like they form their own like human bridges. No, not human, ant bridges. Yeah, and he's climbing up multiple variants of himself to do that. This is going to be the beginning of where all of the Kang Dynasty stuff kicks off. Man, this giant version of Scott getting shredded up looks badass. Yeah, so we got a big. I do think. I mean, I haven't seen the movie, but I do think that they might be showing a lot of the third act in this, and that's disappointing. I don't like to see that much. Maybe show like one cool clip or something. I don't know. I've been reevaluating my stance on trailers recently, and how I think I would make trailers. Like old school trailers where it's just clips and a narrator, and it's not like piecing together the whole movie so much. I have the original trailer for the first Star Wars movie on my computer, and it's such a different like piece of content than what we get with trailers nowadays. It's crazy. If you get a chance, look up that first Star Wars trailer. Star Wars. I don't know if it had the subtitle yet, A New Hope. I think it was just Star Wars. Maybe it did have A New Hope listed, but yeah, the old school trailers were not like trailers are today. But yeah, and then you get some, the big fight scenes here of Ant-Man fighting Kang, and it looks pretty dire. All in all, it looks like some people are probably gonna die in this movie. I am gonna my quick theory here for possible deaths. I don't think Scott's dying in this movie. I think many variants of him will probably die. We'll see him die multiple times, but I think in the grand scheme of like actual death that sticks in the MCU, I think my choices actually are Hank Pym and Janet. I also think it is a big misdirect here, showing all the destruction towards Scott Lang. But I think Janet will feel probably responsible for some stuff going on. I understand that there's going to be, or heard things about there's going to be an emphasis on her and her time in the quantum realm and relationship she's built, and whatnot. So I think Janet and Hank are the two prime candidates for me to kick the bucket if anybody actually does kick the bucket in here. I mean, a lot of the Ant-Man stuff that people wanted with the original Hank Pym and stuff like that, you can actually still do with Scott going forward. You know, the toll on his body from shrinking and enlarging so many times. They talked about that in, I think, the first movie with Hank, how he can't do it anymore, and then he does it like 4 or 5 times. Anyways, Ant-Man and the Wasp trailer, this looks great. This is going to be the first thing that I think really knocks Avatar down a little bit. But, I mean, that's still like a month away. So, Avatar's got about 4 more weeks of earning those big bucks before it really starts to diminish here at the box office. Yeah. So, anyways, Ant-Man and the Wasp coming out next month. It looks really good. Excited for this. This trailer looks really good. Yeah, I'm excited. It looks Black Panther, I think, was in terms of Phase 4 kind of a going back to the Marvel feel post Endgame. I think there's a lot of stuff, for good or bad, that just doesn't feel Marvel-y in what we know from the Marvel movies in Phase 4. Also, they did introduce series. You know, they have the Disney Plus streaming services now, so they can do they do all these series, and a lot of the Phase 4 stuff. There were a lot of series in Phase 4 here. But anyways, we have a big rumor that I want to talk about, not regarding the MCU here. I've been hearing this pop up for like a couple of weeks now, and I never really wanted to talk about it. There's no actual like news source about this, but this has become such a conversation that I think it's important about the Harry Potter franchise. But before we get into that, I want to do a quick commercial break, and we'll come back and we'll talk about the Harry Potter franchise here in just a couple of seconds.
I'm Richard's Pet Wedding Facilities, and I give these stickers away at every pet wedding. The kids love them too. This bag from, what's his name? Wild Dinosaur? Weren't they all wild? Why not oxymoron? Anyways, I like to put my special things in this bag. Plus, I'm pretty sure this is my spirit animal.
Life gave me lemons, so I sold them for this sweet baseball tee.
All right, that's wilddinosaur.com. Don't forget to go check that out. Support this channel. I really need the help here. I want to keep going. I want to keep giving you guys content. And not just these live streams. These live streams are really fun, and they're kind of for me, but they're for us to have more open discussion about things. Oh, looks like I got a software update. I'm gonna do a software update on my phone real quick. I'm gonna install that. It's not gonna be real quick. This won't even be done by the time I finish the show, I bet. Just let it do its thing. Yeah, it's new ISO. iOS. So anyways, what is this big thing that I wanted to talk about today? The big thing I want to talk about today is the Harry Potter franchise and what is going on with that. Woof, there is so much stuff. I'm going to read this article. Like I said, there's not a lot of news articles about this. There is an article from my source here is Game Rant, forgive me. I'm not super familiar with them. I do understand people are going to them more because they're mad at IGN or whatever as a site. You know, I like to use Hollywood Reporter, Variety, and Deadline specifically, so the big trades for news sources. But we're going to talk about this because this does have a larger implication for Warner Brothers as a whole, and I just want to do a quick little article here. What is this, like three paragraphs or something like that? It's like 5. About the Harry Potter franchise and what's going on. Let's start here. WDW Pro, no idea who that is, reported on the rumors of a reboot, claiming that the studio is looking to recast key roles in the Harry Potter franchise to re-energize it for younger audiences. According to the claims, the studio would not be doing a traditional reboot, as the story of Harry's years at Hogwarts is over for good, and the studio would be interested in telling other stories. The leaker further claims that this will happen within the next 3 to 5 years, and that Warner Brothers Discovery is waiting on a James Gunn-like figure to run this department. I love that the James Gunn thing is becoming we need a Kevin Feige. We need a Kevin Feige or a James Gunn. The leak appears to hint at something akin to Harry Potter and the Cursed Child movie. Although the play does not cover enough material for a multi-film franchise, it does cover what happens to Harry and his friends after their time at Hogwarts, taking place far enough in the future that recasting might not be such an egregious prospect. However, the supposed leak does not mention Harry Potter and the Cursed Child specifically. Rebooting Harry Potter may be a tall task for Warner Brothers Discovery. Not only is there a deep attachment to the previous portrayals of the characters, but J.K. Rowling's recent controversies has also alienated several Harry Potter fans. Several, I think, is an understatement. It's possible that this could impact any reboot moving forward, should fans make it clear they do not want to support projects Rowling is attached to. Additionally, the Harry Potter franchise continued in the form of the Fantastic Beasts franchise, which appears to be shutting down amid disappointing box office returns. The lack of excitement for those films could mean that the franchise is in a cold spot right now. Still, with Warner Brothers Discovery recent reshuffling, the top brass may be considering reviving the main Harry Potter franchise. All right, so that is the basics of this story. Warner Brothers wants to do something with the Harry Potter franchise. I think that's a great idea. What I don't think is a great idea, and they don't say this in there, they don't say rebooting the original one. They say they are leaning away from those originals, which is fantastic. There should be no reason to be recast or rebooting, remaking those original movies. It's like Star Wars. Why remake those movies now? Like I hear about this every once in a while. It doesn't really make sense to remake Star Wars or a Harry Potter. Sure, fans are attached to them, but you know what'll make money, which is really the point here. It's not that like, oh, we love Star Wars. Make Star Wars. Okay, people love it, you know. Businesses make money on this, and Warner Brothers, particularly, is desperate to be making big money off their franchises. They've got big retooling to go through that we've talked about in the past a couple of months. The whole DC reshuffling with the James Gunn conversation brought up just a minute ago. They need to make money, but I think the right play here, leaving J.K. Rowling out of this part of the conversation altogether, because that is a difficult thing to have. Because separating the art from the artist is an individual thing. And if you can do that, that's great. If you can't do that, that affects how you're gonna take stuff in. I'm not saying you need to separate the artists. It is an individual thing. Michael Jackson, people still love his music. People will never listen to it again. Same with R. Kelly. You know, people who've had issues. Those people have actually had some, you know, criminal things said about their acts. J.K. Rowling hasn't done anything criminal that I'm aware of. Maybe there's something out there that I missed. I just know that she has alienated a lot of her fans by making anti-trans statements. So leaving her out of the conversation and just sticking with Warner Brothers and the Harry Potter franchise, and what do we do with this? I think going the cursed child route is not a bad call, because you can maybe bring in Daniel Radcliffe and Emma Watson and Rupert Grint, bring in some of the original cast to reprise their roles. I think you can do that, and set it in the future. They did leave us off in those movies with seeing Harry and Ginny and all of the main cast having kids, and all their kids are going to Hogwarts now. So you could totally do stuff in the future. But my big argument with the Harry Potter franchise is something similar to the to Star Wars, and there is an absolute what am I trying to say? There's an absolute parallel with these two. I mean, George Lucas has never, as far as I'm aware, come out and made anti-trans statements, but people have talked shit about George Lucas since the inception of Star Wars, and but the material itself is all rooted in some sort of history within its own narrative. So like Star Wars starts off, A New Hope, the first movie. This is after the Clone Wars happened. We're in the aftermath of big galactic events happening. And that's how the movie starts. The prequel movies go back into that. And then the sequel movies try to move forward. We might be trying to move forward still with some David Lindelof movie, potentially starting up production in the next couple of months. Harry Potter has the same thing going for it. I will also mention I like Harry Potter a lot. I never read the books. I think I read the first book. Yeah, I got the first book, The Philosopher's Stone, on a trip to London. Actually, we bought it in the UK. So I'm not like the lore guy so much. I don't know all the fine details, but I paid enough attention to know that they talk about not just the Fantastic Beast era of stuff. Newt Gingrich, that's his name. He is, I'm just kidding, it's not his name. Newt Scamander, is that his name? And how that takes place, like, in the 40s, I think it's the 40s, like World War II era. And, that had potential. I have watched all three of those movies. I do not remember the last two. That's how good they were. They were real good. And I was paying attention. I think the last one I might have passed out to a little bit. And I no knock to any of the actors or anything in the movie. I know there's the whole Johnny Depp stuff and whatnot, but there was stuff you could have done in that era to make those movies maybe a little bit more enjoyable, I guess. Maybe a slightly better lead character, slightly more entertaining lead character would have benefited. And I don't think that's Eddie Redmayne's fault. I think the character was written very aloof and wasn't somebody I connected to very much. anyways, they've talked about so much stuff throughout all the Harry Potter lore. There is the founding of this wizarding schools you could get into with all of the all of the schools being built around the world. We saw in New York and England in these movies so far. I guess I don't remember the last two Fantastic Beasts. Maybe they go to other places too, but there's also the founding of Hogwarts itself. There's the what is it? The four main wizards: the Salazar, Slytherin, Hufflepuff, Gryffindor. I don't remember all their names. This is why you're here, is because I know all these things. No, but you get my point. There's eras and things that you could go off of, and to me, some of these older ideas of like the founding of the schools, or just the wizarding economy in general, I think you could do like a Knights of the Old Republic style. Not that might be given the wrong idea there. You could do something akin to, like, in Star Wars, they've gone back through various eras. They're doing books now in the High Republic, which I wasn't super pumped about, but actually just bought one of the new audiobooks, and I'm looking forward to getting into that at some point, because I'm sick and tired of the Skywalker era. I'll be honest. There's some cool stuff that you do within the Skywalker saga, like The Mandalorian is a really, really great show. I love it. It's some of the best Star Wars in my opinion, but it does still take place within this time frame of, post Return of the Jedi. That's cool. However, Star Wars has set us up with a vast history. Even in canon, of course, there's a lot of non-canon stuff that people like to talk about. All the old books and video games and comics from the 90s. There's some really great stuff there, and they are taking some of that stuff and reutilizing it in new ways, that's cool. But I think there is a way to go about doing this in the Harry Potter world as well. I mean, Merlin, for example, is a big part of the founding of the wizarding, organizations, I guess. I don't remember specific details, but I'm just throwing out general ideas here just to get the idea going that there is more to do than just rebooting. Because let's put it this way. Would you go see another 8 movies of a franchise that you've already seen? Or would you like to watch a series of films that are tied into this universe, where you watch one and you're like, this is great, and you keep watching them, and you're like, I just need more. So you know what? You decide to go back and you just watch all those 8 movies again. That does a lot of great things for Warner Brothers, because instead of just rebooting, and again, I know this article specifically isn't talking about a straight remake of these, but a sort of new direction reboot, a la Cursed Child. If you put out, let's say, I'm again just throwing out ideas. Let's say you put out this movie where you got all of these founding wizards, and they have to deal with Merlin, and there's some other things going on. Maybe it's them having to, maybe it's witches and wizards having to live in a human society because they don't have that separate world yet, and then maybe they have to figure out how to develop that around humanity. They live in an invisible alternate world, parallel world, I guess. I don't know how you consider the Wizarding World. Maybe you do something like that, and you watch those movies, and you're like, man, this is really great. You know what? I'm going to watch those Harry Potter movies again. What that does for Warner Brothers is the potential to not just like, of course they're on HBO Max. Actually, are they? I think they still are. I think they pulled them off for a while, but they weren't. I do have all 8 of them I do own them myself. But let's say like you really love this new Merlin movie or whatever, Salazar Slytherin movie or whatever, and you're just really looking for more Harry Potter stuff. Instead of alienating a fan base by remaking something you've already done, what you can do is the Avatar thing. Is re-release in theaters multiple times and make a bunch of money off of re-releases. I mean, IMAX re-releases, 3D re-releases. I don't know how those things work. I've never worked in 3D before. Only in Photoshop, but that's not nearly enough to, render a movie. So I don't know. I think the idea of a remake, which again, I'm bringing in the remake phrase here. The idea of a remake behind all this is not an appealing one to me. I don't want to see, a new Harry Potter. I want to see the old Harry Potter. So if you are going to go back to that well, let's move forward. Let's see Harry older. Let's see him. I almost wouldn't mind seeing him as like the old wizard, like Harry's in his 70s or 80s now, it would actually be in the future. Because with those books take place in the 90s. The Harry Potter movies take place in the 90s. I don't remember the years, but let's say you have, Harry's 18, 19 at the end of those movies there. You got another 50 years. So like the mid 2000, 2050s or whatever, 60s. Go a little into the future. That would be interesting. Because then you're also, it might take a little bit out, because if you go into the real life world, you have to futurize it a little bit for your story. But I also think that's why you go backwards with the Harry Potter stuff. Wizards are cool, and wizards, in my opinion, are usually associated with like Middle Ages, the Dark Ages, things like that. And that's why I totally think you need to go backwards in time. I think you need to go, again, without knowing all the fine details to all the lore. Merlin, Merlin to me is he's been used a lot, but he's still a fascinating character in mythology and can be totally utilized for I don't know, maybe he's a villain. Maybe he's a villain this time around. Which is why they don't talk about him as much. I don't know. Merlin's beard. Why did people say Merlin's beard? Let's get you know what? Okay, I never needed to know why Han Solo was called Han Solo. It's because he went through a checkpoint and he was alone. Why do people in the Harry Potter world utilize expressions like Merlin's beard? What was wrong with Merlin's beard? Is the gravitational alignment off? And yeah, the first Harry Potter movie came out in 2001, a month before the first Lord of the Rings movie, by the way, which I was in the theater for both of those. I remember watching the first Harry Potter movie and being like, wow, this is great. I really like. I think I was I was a sophomore. I would have been a freshman or sophomore in high school, and I was like, oh, these are cool. I like this. And then literally a month later, the first Lord of the Rings came out and my face melted. I was like, what the fuck is this? Yeah, I don't know. There's an opportunity there. The Harry Potter movies, they evolve. They totally evolve. You get the first couple are like kids movies, then they get darker and darker and darker. And they're adults. They're young adults. They're full on young adults by the end of the franchise. So I think there's opportunity, particularly going back to the Middle Ages or the Dark Ages or whatever you want to call it, for various time frames for the Harry Potter franchise. I think there is some really good storytelling, potential storytelling, and cool mythologies you can use within those. I mean, let's bring in some like Norse mythology. I've been really I was playing Vikings Valhalla and Assassin's Creed Valhalla, and then I just rewatched the first seasons of Viking Valhalla before the season 2 came out, which I also just finished, which reminds me, since we're getting close to the end of the episode here, Monday I'll be doing a discussion on Vikings Valhalla. That's what the Monday episode will be about, this upcoming Monday. So stick around for that. But you could definitely use Norse mythology a little bit here. Blend some of these things together. I don't know. I think stepping backwards in the Harry Potter franchise is a good call and probably the right direction to go. Look, you can do a lot of stuff, especially when it comes. I mean, when you're a writer and you're writing fiction, anything's possible, right? I think there are really good concepts to consider with going backwards and doing something old school, founding of the houses, or like a Merlin, something involving Merlin, let's say. I keep going to Merlin because I don't know, I'm a nerd. I've always loved like Arthurian legend and Robin Hood and stuff like that. I have had an idea for doing some sort of interconnected universe similar with those kinds of mythologies. Nothing Harry Potter, but maybe I should get back to that. Anyways, what do you guys think? Should they do more Harry Potter movies? I mean, regardless if you want them or not, Warner Brothers is going to try to shove them down your throat, good or not. I think they do have good intentions. But in restructuring their business here, David Zaslav definitely has to make some decisions about what's going on. I do buy that they are looking for somebody to run the Harry Potter universe for movies and TV. Maybe David Yates. Wasn't it David Yates that did a majority of those films? I think he even did some of the Fantastic Beasts. I don't know. I do want to maybe move away from the Fantastic Beast vibes a bit, though. I was not a fan of those movies. But let me know what you guys think in the comments below regarding the Harry Potter stuff, because it's probably going to be coming coming at some point anyways. So for you Harry Potter fans, what are some like deep cut stuff that you think that they could make some more content about, stories they could go off of? Do you think they should just stay with the Harry Potter character himself in this era? Should they move forward? Should they do the Cursed Child or some sort of adaptation for that? I'm not opposed to that. I am. But I do have a similar feeling, like I said before, like Star Wars, where I would really like for them to move away from the time period that they've been just sitting in for 4 decades. Wait, oh my god, that's a lot longer. Yeah, about four decades or so. 77 was the first movie. It's funny. Star Wars comes out 1977. My sister was born 1977. Empire Strikes Back comes out in 1980. My brother was born 1980. Return of the Jedi comes out in 1983. I was born, guess which year? Nope. 1984. I honestly, that's how I, as a small child, remembered when those movies came out. The years. Those were the only movies I ever remembered, like, what year they came out, and is because they align with me and my siblings. Mostly. Anyways, I'm going to get out of here. But again, let me know what you guys think about any sort of reboot ideas, reboots, remakes, sequels, whatever. And again, quickly going into the doing a sequel series where you have an older Harry, like doing Cursed Child stuff, you do have an opportunity to not recast, but, well, you could maybe recast a couple of characters. But cast new characters that people are excited about, but also you could do that going backwards as well too, like the first class of Hogwarts, or again, the founding of these wizarding schools. So let me know what you guys think about any of these ideas. Let me know your ideas. I want to hear them. I'm actually genuinely curious about this. So yeah. What is next? That's it. Don't forget to check out wilddinosaur.com. Please go buy something. Please go buy something. It's really the best way to support this channel, and I need the support. I'll be honest. I don't know what this channel looks like in a year. I really don't. I have hopes, but I don't realistically know what this channel looks like. But those ideas and those hopes only become reality when you guys help out and are a part of this. Even if it's just a like and subscribe, or you share, those things are all free, by the way. And they help me out so much. I'm always thankful. I'm always thankful when people are able to join the show and comment, join the chat. But if you comment too, those are also helpful. Just a comment if you don't watch live, just a comment at the end of the video, good job, you suck. Hopefully it's not that. Or anything regarding any of the topics within the episodes that you watch. Always helpful. So, that is great. You guys are lovely. I love you all. Oh yeah, and the last thing I like to do is there's a link in the description to donate to Planned Parenthood. Planned Parenthood is a great organization in the United States that gets a lot more flack than they deserve. I have personally utilized their services, and I mean, if they weren't around, I mean this from the bottom of my heart. If I did not have my experiences with Planned Parenthood, my life would actually be much different than it is now, and I am thankful for them. So if you need some condoms, go check out Planned Parenthood. They usually have bowls of them just sitting there. Anyways, yeah, Planned Parenthood's great. All right, well, that's it for tonight, which is Friday the 13th. I will be back on Monday. I'm coming back on Monday, and I'm going to be talking about Vikings Valhalla. I didn't talk about the first season last year. Well, I mean, I don't think I was streaming when the first season came out. What's up, Jason? Sorry you made it late. No, hey, no worries, dude. No worries at all. If you get a chance, watch the episode back. Leave a comment and like and all that stuff. Share it around. But I'm coming back on Monday. Right now I am doing 3 days a week instead of the 2. Monday, Wednesday, Friday seems to be a good time for me. So yeah, I'll be back on Monday with Vikings Valhalla Season 2 conversation. And yeah, Don't forget. Oh, don't forget to check out some of my other social media. The YouTube stories and Instagram stories and Facebook stories all have a nice little thing that I threw together today. It's the history of the Empire State Building, so you might be surprised in that and stuff you might not have known previously about the Empire State Building. Anyways, have a good weekend, and I'll see you guys on Monday.